The gaslights flickered, shadows danced, a thick blanket of fog rolled through the cobblestone streets of London's East End. It was 1888 and fear clung to the damp air as thick as the smog itself. The Whitechapel district was a place of stark contrast, of grinding poverty and fleeting moments of drunken revelry. But now something far more sinister haunted its darkened alleys. A killer walked among them. His name, whispered in hushed tones, was Jack the Ripper. The city was no stranger to crime, but these murders were different. They were brutal, they were calculated. And they left the city paralyzed with fear. The victims, all women, were found with their throats slashed, their bodies mutilated in ways that chilled the blood. Panic gripped Whitechapel. Whispers of the Ripper were everywhere. Fear was a constant companion. Whitechapel in 1888 was a place of stark contrasts. By day it was a bustling hive of activity, vendors hawked their wares, workers thronged the streets, their footsteps echoing on the cobblestones, but by night the district transformed. Darkness shrouded its alleys and courtyards, hiding a much grimmer reality. Poverty was rampant. Prostitution was a way of life for many desperate women. It was a world away from the opulence and grandeur of London's West End.
Life in Whitechapel was hard. Many residents lived in overcrowded slums, struggling to survive. Disease was rife. Alcoholism and violence were commonplace. The police presence in Whitechapel was minimal. The East End was seen as a world apart, a place of darkness and despair. This made it the perfect hunting ground for a predator like Jack the Ripper.
5 women are forever linked to the legend of Jack the Ripper. They are known as the canonical 5, victims whose murders shared a chillingly similar pattern. Their names were Mary Ann Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes and Mary Jane Kelly. Each woman met a gruesome end on the cobblestone streets of Whitechapel.
Mary Ann Nichols, a 43-year-old woman struggling with alcoholism, was the Ripper's first victim. She was found murdered on August 31st, 1888. Her throat had been slashed and her abdomen mutilated. The brutality of the attack shocked even the most hardened police officers.
Annie Chapman, the second victim, was discovered on September 8th. Her body was discovered in a similar state to Nichols. The press and public were now gripped by the murders. The Ripper had become a terrifying reality. The murders sent shockwaves through London. The city had never seen anything like it. The newspapers were filled with sensationalized accounts of the crimes. Fear and suspicion gripped the populace. Who was this monster preying on the women of Whitechapel?
The police investigation was intense. Detectives interviewed hundreds of people. They followed countless leads, but the killer seemed to vanish into thin air after each murder. The lack of progress only fueled the public's fear and frustration. The Ripper became a bogeyman. Parents kept their children close. Women were afraid to walk the streets alone, especially at night.
As the murders continued, the police received a flood of letters, many claiming to be from the killer himself.
Most were quickly dismissed as hoaxes or the ramblings of attention seekers. However, one letter stood out.
It was the Dear Boss letter.
The Dear Boss letter, received by the Central News Agency in September 1888, was filled with chilling details about the murders.
The writer, signing himself Jack the Ripper, even threatened to remove the ears of his next victim.
Days later, Catherine Eddowes was found murdered, her earlobe severed. The letter's gruesome prediction sent shivers down the spines of Londoners.
Section 6, the Shadowy Suspects. Over the years, hundreds of suspects have been investigated in connection with the Ripper murders. Theories abound, ranging from the plausible to the outlandish.
Some of the most popular suspects include Montague John Druitt, a barrister who committed suicide shortly after the murders ceased, and Walter Sickert, a painter with a dark side.
Another suspect was Aaron Kosminski, a Polish immigrant who lived in Whitechapel. Kosminski was known to have harbored violent tendencies and was later committed to an asylum. However, Despite the suspicions, no concrete evidence has ever linked Kosminski to the murders. The mystery of Jack the Ripper's identity remains unsolved. Section 7. Ghosts in the DNA. In recent years, modern forensic techniques have been applied to the Ripper case, offering tantalizing new clues. DNA analysis of a shawl found near the body of Catherine Edowers pointed to Aaron Kosminski as a potential suspect. However, the evidence is far from conclusive.
Criminologists continue to pore over the case files, applying modern profiling techniques in an attempt to understand the killer's motives and methods. Despite these efforts, the mystery of Jack the Ripper endures. Was he a cunning killer who managed to evade capture, or was he simply a product of his time, lost to history?
Section 8. A Legacy of Terror. The reign of terror may have been brief, but Jack the Ripper's impact on London, and indeed the world, was profound. The murders exposed the dark underbelly of Victorian society and highlighted the plight of the poor and vulnerable.
The Ripper case also captured the public imagination like no other crime before or since. It spawned countless books, films, and documentaries, each attempting to unravel the mystery of the Whitechapel killer. Jack the Ripper became a ghoulish celebrity, a symbol of the darkness that lurks beneath the surface of civilization.
Section 9. Will the Ripper ever truly be unmasked? The identity of Jack the Ripper remains one of history's most enduring mysteries. Despite over a century of investigation, his true identity remains elusive, lost to the fog of time. Will we ever know who was truly behind those gruesome killings? Or will the mystery of Jack the Ripper forever haunt the cobblestone streets of Whitechapel, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the shadows, waiting for its moment to strike? What do you think? Who was Jack the Ripper? Let us know in the comments. End with subscribe for more unsolved mysteries, chilling true crime stories, and hidden history.